All right, Shalom. I want to start off by giving all praise, honor, and glory to the Most High God Yahweh, Bahashem Yahweh Shai, Bahashem Achak Wadash. Double honors to the apostles, the elders, and bishops at Great Millstone. I'm your brother, Rabbi Knapp, coming out with a lesson. Those will. This is edifying to the Lord's elect. And I found this online on AlJazeera.com. It says oil prices surge after Israeli strikes on Iran's South Pars gas field. Let's see what this is talking about.
Oil prices surge after Israeli strike on Iran's South Pars gas field, by AP and Reuters. Oil prices have risen more than 5% following an Israeli strike on Iran's South Pars gas field, as the United States-Israeli war on the country continues to escalate. Brent crude, the international standard, rose 5% to $108.66 a barrel on Wednesday, while U.S. West Texas Intermediate Crude CLC1, the price barometer for U.S. oil, gained 2.5% to $98.65, widening its discount to Brent to the largest since May 2019 on fears of a prolonged conflict. Iran.
So it means it's going up even more. All right, so that's going to translate into your gas prices going up, cost of your goods going up. I mean, we already know this, but, it's good to say it. Because, if we keep thinking that shit's going to remain the same and you're not constantly reminding yourself that things are changing, then you won't feel it when it comes. It's going to come unexpected. Okay, and the Lord requires us to watch. As a matter of fact, let me go over here real quick in the book of Mark 13, I think. Mark 13, I'll start at 32. But of that day and that hour knoweth no man, no, not the angels which are in heaven, neither the Son, but the Father. So the day that the Lord returns, no one knows, and no one knows any appointed time that anything's going to actually happen. And the Lord knows at what appointed time everything's going to happen. The day and hour, the MOTB is going to be made mandatory. The day and hour that the Lord says, I'm sending my son down there, okay? Or how much time you have down here on the earth. Only the Lord knows that. But this right here is actually talking about the day of the Lord. Okay, when all things will be fulfilled when He sends His Son. Okay, so that's what it's talking about. Not mostly everything else, but He's done that with these different kingdoms. They all had an appointed time. Okay, and we're getting up to that time too. Mark 13, verse 33, take ye heed, watch and pray, for ye know not when the time is. So let's see, this is what I wanted to get. Watch and pray. Why are they talking in Spanish? Is a call to spiritual vigilance, instructing believers to be on guard and stay alert, because the timing of Yahweh's return, the time is unknown. It emphasizes active preparation, urging believers to watch and pray rather than to speculate on dates. Yeah, you watch and pray by looking into the news, see what's going on. All you see is a constant escalation. The gas prices right now, they've been pretty steady, but it could increase after they just hit these oil and gas fields even more. Be on guard, take heed. This command implies paying careful attention to spiritual life and not becoming complacent or spiritually asleep, right? We want to stay awake to things that are happening in the world because they pertain to your salvation. Stay alert, watch. This highlights the need for active anticipation of Yahweh's return, similar to a servant waiting for a master's return, right? So you want to be, how do we watch today? We watch the news. We measure the times diligently by seeing what's going on in the world and how it pertains to prophecy. Unknown time, and the verse highlights that no one knows when the time is, requiring constant readiness. So you always got to be ready. Especially like the things that are going on in Cuba. Just overnight, man. It wasn't really overnight. They've been pretty much um, feeling it since January. But now we're deep into March, and they don't have any electricity. People are going to be needing all types of stuff. And they could have been came up with a plan, but the duck is waiting for, you know, clearly something worse to happen. I don't know what he's actually waiting for, but he's putting hell on them. Mark 13 and verse 34. For the Son of Man is as a man taking a far journey, who left his house and gave authority to his servants and to every man his work, and commanded the porter to watch. Let's look this up. It emphasizes vigilance, responsibility, and readiness for Hamashiach's return. The parable represents Yahushua leaving ascension and entrusting work to his followers with the expectation of his return. The command, watch or be in alert, is emphasized as the master could return at any time, evening, midnight, rooster, crow, or morning. Now we know the Lord's not just going to pop up out of nowhere and just, I'm here and just, no, the MOTB is going to be established. Jacob's Trouble, World War III. He's coming in the height of all this, so we want to be ready. We seen that everything's escalating, but we want to make sure that we're diligently watching, like he told us to do. Individual responsibility. Every servant receives specific tasks to perform while waiting. So, that's going pretty much into your talents, man. Whatever that is, you better use it. Okay, urgency. The passage concludes with a warning not to be found sleeping, spiritually unprepared when the master returns, right? But it don't even go into the porter, and like this is weak. What kind of breakdown is this? This is a weak breakdown. I kind of don't like Google's breakdowns. I rather chat gives a more thorough to give precepts. That's where I should have went. Let's see what it says. I don't know why it keeps coming out like that. All right, this for the Son of Man. We know that's talking about Yahweh Shai, who left the house. The house equals Israel, the household of faith. 1 Timothy 3 verse 15, the house of God, the church, Israel of the Most High, and gave authority to his servants, the prophets, apostles, authority, meaning understanding, teaching, judgment through the Spirit, and to every man his work. Each servant has a specific role: teaching, prophesying, helps, governance, etc. Not everyone has the same office, but all must labor. That's right. Going into John the 9th chapter. It's time to labor. People don't like to work though, man. A lot of lazy motherfuckers. John 9 verse 1, and as Yahweh Shai passed by, he saw a man which was blind from his birth. And his disciples asked him, saying, Master, who did sin, this man or his parents, that he was born blind? Yahweh Shai answered, neither have this man sinned nor his parents, but that the works of God should be made manifest in him. I must work the works of him that sent me while it is day. The night cometh when no man can work. That's right. It emphasizes the urgency of doing God's work, such as healing the blind man during his lifetime, before death, which is night, prevents further earthly labor. Yeah, we're supposed to, the blind man now we're not healing, someone that's blind. And, they come to us and we say shit about a Honda, and their eyes, they wake up and they can see, but breaking down the scriptures properly, that's giving you your spiritual eye salve. That's what's giving you the ability to see. That's what's giving you the ability to walk, okay, to talk, to heal yourself. So don't think, these miracles aren't being performed through the Spirit. They are. Okay. Key themes and context from John 9:4. Urgency of mission. Yahweh Shai speaks of a limited time to accomplish his earthly mission assigned by God. Yeah, we only got a certain amount of time. We don't know how long we're going to be down here on the earth. Any day we can get put to death. But at least we're using our time down here more effectively. Days verse night metaphor. Day refers to the time available to act, while night signifies death, the end of life's work. Right. So it's still day. You still alive. You woke up. You got breath in your chest. You got strength in your body. It's time to go serve the Lord. But Israel don't really think like that until it's too late. Healing on the Sabbath. The statement is made when healing a man born blind, showing that doing good is purposeful work at any time, especially when it comes to the Lord. Serving the Lord on the Sabbath day, even though you're not supposed to do any labors, but teaching and things like that, that's pleasing to the Lord. Okay? Because at the end of the day, this work needs to be done. That was the office of the priest. Priests had to work on the Sabbath. Application to believers. It is often interpreted as a call to make the best use of one's limited time on the earth to do good works and fulfill God's purpose. So while you limited down here, man, but what happens is when the Lord ain't really afflicting you, you think you got all this time. You think you're good. You ain't good, man. You are not good. You will be taken out of here with no problem real quick. You ain't shit, man. Real talk. Everyone think they got all the time in the world, and it ain't like that. Okay? At any moment, you going to get the Grim Reaper. So we got to work. John 9:5, as long as I am in the world, I am the light of the world. So that's talking about Yahweh Shai. Okay, this verse spoken by Yahweh Shai before healing a man born blind highlights his role as the source of spiritual truth, guidance, and illumination to humanity, bridging his divine mission with the immediate miracle. So he's healing the blind and he's giving the light. So he's doing two things at once. Through the Spirit, he's giving us the ability to see, and physically he was giving this man the ability to see. Right. Mark 13, verse 35. Watch ye therefore, for ye know not when the master of the house cometh, which is Yahweh Shai, at even or at midnight or at the cock crowing or in the morning. Excuse me. And he is. Let's copy that. Let me grab that in. Where's the chat at? Oh, I didn't even finish 30, whatever this verse is. It says, and commanded the porter to watch. The porter, the watchman, spiritual gatekeeper. That's right. The porter's the watchman. Watch equals stay spiritually alert, discerning prophecy, warning the people. So, hey, that's what the Lord wants you to do. You do it to the best of your ability. It ain't got to be all perfect, and you got to have every single precept pre-written and ready, man. You could just go do the work, man. Half of these people don't got ears to hear reprobates. It says this parable is about order and responsibility during Yahweh Shai's absence. He left, but he didn't leave chaos. He set up structure. Men were given authority through the Spirit. Every brother has a role / work in this truth. The watchman must stay alert on prophecy and warn Israel. The message, don't be asleep spiritually. Stay working and watching, because the Lord can return at any time. That's right. Okay. Well, but they're saying it like we don't know that there's other things that are going to be coming to pass before the Lord returns, like that MOTB. Jacob's trouble, World War III. He's coming during a time of the height of World War III, but all you're hearing is 5,000 troops. Last I heard, he's sending Marines into that area. He was asking NATO if they can send in some allies to help him with the Strait of Hormuz. They declined. Then he said after Iran, he's going to go into Cuba. Then there was news that the Russians were going to help assist Cuba after Duck said he was going to go into there. So that's kind of like where I'm at. I'm trying to figure out, see if there's anything, see what the Lord's doing. Because I'm ready to get the hell up out of here, man. I want to rule over the heathen. I want to bust them over the head with rods of iron. I want to get them back good. I'm going for the get back, okay? Call it petty. Call it what you want. That's what the Lord wants. I'm with it. I'm for it. I'm all the way with it. Whatever the Lord want to do, I'm with it. He won't put Esau in handcuffs and do him dirty. Let me do the dirty work, Lord, please. Choose me. Choose me. Let me do the dirty work. Okay? Watch ye therefore, command to stay spiritually alert, not asleep in this world. Continues the point from the verse 34 about the porter/watchman. That's right. You get somebody on and you don't want to be with a watchman. He don't see anything, never. That's probably not his job. A watchman is supposed to be on his tower. He's supposed to be watching. So you watch. You gotta. You can't be ignorant in a small thing. Or what's that? Ecclesiasticus 5 verse 15. You can't be. Let me grab that real quick. You ain't gotta know everything, but knowing what's going on is very important, man. I can't stress it enough. Even during a battle, the information that you have is important, man. You need the latest knowledge to make the best decisions. Be not ignorant of anything in a great matter or small. So we don't want to be ignorant to the best of our ability about anything that's going on in the world as it pertains to prophecy. All right. And the more you watch, the better you get at watching. And it's like, honestly, things just come to you. The news flows to you. All right. So watch therefore, for ye know not when the master of the house cometh. The master Yahweh Shah Hamashiach returning. His return is unpredictable, not exact date given. So you're right. We don't know exactly when he's coming, but we looking for him through the signs that he's given us. All right, through the prophecies, we're matching things up with prophecies. We know he's not coming tomorrow, and the reason why we know that, because other things aren't established yet. I mean, the war ain't really kick off like that, like it's supposed to be. With the dragons of Arabians, when you read 2nd Esdras 15:28 down, that's not really kicking off the way, it's kind of like the beginning. They calling it a war, that's a good thing, but they've been at war. But now they're calling it a war, so there's an escalation there. So wherever it's increased, you want to, hey, there it goes. It's increasing. The Lord's getting, getting closer to bringing forth more Jacob's trouble, going into the birth pains of the woman. She has those contractions, and she eventually delivers the baby, which to us would be Yahweh Shai, which is our salvation. Like a woman, it tells you in Isaiah 4:1 to take away our approach. It tells you in 1 Timothy 2:15, a woman shall be saved through childbearing. So it's just like that. So when Yahweh Shai is born, or when he comes back, which is to deliver us, that's our salvation. But it's the end of Esau. Okay. At even or at midnight or at the cock crowing or in the morning. These are the 4 Roman night watches representing different times. I didn't even know that. Let's see. Let's look this up a little bit. The 4 Roman night watches divided the night from 6 p.m. to 6 a.m. into 3-hour periods known as evening, midnight, cock crowing, and morning. Designed for military security and guard rotation. See, there you go. But sometimes if you don't watch, people tell, oh, you Googling. How are you going to learn it if you don't ain't looking things up? So the first watch, 9 p.m. to 12 a.m., which is midnight. You know that you could fall asleep at that time. Ain't nobody watching you. You know. Then you got the third watch, cock chrome, but it'll be a whole different brother coming out for that time. You know, and then there's a constant rotation of, and that's why this word's constantly going out. 6 p.m. to 9 p.m., 9 p.m. to 12 a.m., 12 a.m. to 3 a.m., and 3 a.m. to 9 a.m. It's good to know. So spiritually, this means anytime, no specific moment is guaranteed. And what are you watching for? You watching for prophecy. You blowing the horn when the enemy's doing something that, you know, Israel needs to know about so they can be ready and prepared for whatever attack this devil is doing. 2 Corinthians chapter 2 and 11. Lest Satan should get an advantage of us, for we are not ignorant of his devices. That's right. We don't want the enemy to get an advantage of us, especially when it comes to prophecy. He might fool you, might make you think, oh, this is for a long time to come. As his schemes or devices to cause division and discord are known, this verse emphasizes maintaining love and unity to avoid being outwitted by spiritual deception, particularly within the church community. That's right. Particularly within the believers, man, because we know 2/3 of you don't believe anyway. Actually, full of you just a reprobate. Key words: watch, Gregorio, to stay awake, vigilant, spiritually attentive. Let's look at this word vigilant. Keeping careful watch for possible danger or difficulties. That's right. No, not oida. To perceive or have knowledge here, meaning you are not given the exact time, cometh to come, appear, return. This verse is a warning against spiritual complacency. You cannot predict when Yahweh Shai returns, so you must be constantly in the right spirit. Not lukewarm, not slacking, not distracted by the world, right? And you constantly got to pretty much put off the world as much as you can. I mean, you got to use the world. You got to do what you do. Everyone's different. You know, things that might make you entertain, don't entertain me. Some people like to drink. I don't drink like that. That's how they get their downtime on, but I'm good. You know, some people do other things. Some people go to the club. I don't go to the club. People do, who knows what the fuck people do. I find more pleasure just being in the scriptures, minding my business, till that time come. Okay, Revelation 3 in verse 15. I know thy works, that thou art neither cold nor hot. I would thou wert cold or hot. Hey, you gonna be in this thing, you either be cold, you in it, or you out of this thing. It's just one of the other, either or. And whatever's preventing you from being hot, you need to get rid of it. Or just continue to be cold. So then, because thou art lukewarm and neither cold nor hot, I will spew thee out of my mouth. Yeah, let's look at this word lukewarm. Showing little enthusiasm, it says. Indifferent, you're cool, you half-hearted, apathetic, unenthusiastic. You know, that's what it says on just in Google. But let's look at the Greek for it. Yeah, some people, the truth ain't, I guess you could be in it long enough that you just get complacent. Whatever you do.
Strong's G 5513, Chliaras.
You heard him. Tepid, lukewarm, of the condition of the soul, wretchedly fluctuating between a torpor and a fervor of love. Let's see what this word wretchedly means. Wretchedly. I think that means wretchedly is an adverb describing a manner that is deeply unhappy, miserable, or of very poor quality. Yeah, you wretchedly fluctuating. It indicates a state of severe distress or formally that something is done or made terribly, badly, or unsatisfactorily. It describes both emotional states. She cried wretchedly and poor quality. The food was wretchedly prepared. Just poor quality, man. You just the way you do the work is just it's of poor quality. You're tired when you do the work. You're not enthusiastic about serving the Lord. This is supposed to be your first love. No woman wants to be with somebody who doesn't feel like he's into her. That's a turnoff, you know. And the same thing goes for this word. Okay, so I looked up the word lukewarm. There you go. Oh, I wanted to look up some other things in that. Lukewarm. What was I looking at? I think that's it. That's it. Lukewarm. Bugging. I thought I was looking for something else. Let's see. Oh yeah. Sorry, I gotta go to lukewarm. There was something in there. I wanted to look at wretchedly. I was looking at the definition. Wretchedly, and then between a torpor. So you're doing it with a soul with bad quality, of the condition of the soul, which is wretchedly fluctuating. With poor quality fluctuating between a torpor and a fervor of love. Let's look at this word, torpor. Torpor is a short-term involuntary state of decreased physiological activity, including reduced body temperature, metabolism, and heart rate, used by animals to conserve energy and survive cold temperatures or food scarcity. It acts as a hibernation light, often lasting for hours or days rather than months. Yeah, so you hibernating. Benefits: enable survival during harsh conditions or limited food/water by conserving energy and heat. And you ain't doing it because of that. You're doing it because, you're not you're just cold. So that's pretty much what it's saying. You cold, man. You know. And staying hot, man, it requires energy. Duration lasts from hours to days, overnight in hummingbirds, or in some cases weeks. Poor wills, notes the National Audubon Society. That's pretty much it on that. So it pretty much means cold. And a fervor, yeah, you poorly going from hot to cold. Intense and passionate feeling. Intense heat. So you got to be of love, you know. You got to love what you're doing. You got to serve the Lord. Serve the Lord with spirit, KJV. Forgot the word it used. Yeah, Romans 12 and 11. Let's go there. Romans 12 and 11. Not slothful in business, fervent in spirit, serving the Lord. That's right. That's how you make your body a living sacrifice. Urges believers to maintain high spiritual energy and passion in their service to God rather than being lazy or complacent. It calls for diligent effort or being fervent in spirit while serving the Lord with enthusiasm. All right, and some people, it just think over time what happens is you lose that fervency, just like in any relationship. So that's something we got to watch out for if we in this truth. Let's see some of the precepts they give. Proverbs 18:9. He also that is slothful in his work is brother to him that is a great waster. Let me see what this means. Whoever is slack in his work is a brother to him who destroys. So you got to watch out. Someone that's slacking in the work, he's a brother to him that's destroyed. He's a brother to Esau. I guess that's what it means. This verse highlights that laziness or negligence in one's responsibilities is just as damaging as deliberate destruction. It applies to work, relationships, and stewardship, equating half-hearted effort with wasting resources and causing ruin. Yeah, laziness that's a killer, man. That's a killer. Causes wasting resources and causing ruin. So the point's made. Proverbs 22:29. Seest thou a man diligent in his business? He shall stand before kings. He shall not stand before mean men. Let's look this up. Someone that's diligent, he ain't gonna stand around mean men. Highlights the value of diligence and skill, stating that those who excel in their work will gain recognition and advancement standing before leaders rather than obscure people. It encourages pursuing excellence and dedication in one's profession to earn promotion and distinction. Skill and diligence, the verse highlights the importance of being skilled. In mahir in Hebrew, meaning prompt, ready, or skilled and diligent in one's business, recognition and advancement. Those who are industrious and skillful will not remain in obscurity. They will earn the attention of top leaders, stand before kings. Professional excellence, it is as a call to excel in professional conduct, going beyond minimum requirements to produce excellent work, which leads to honor and success. Reward of competence. Diligent workers gain favor and opportunities, often leading to roles of greater responsibility and influence. So that's kind of not what it means, but because this word mean means the average. Okay, mean, intend to convey, indicate, intend something to occur to be the case. Doesn't say here. Unkind, spiteful, unfair, not mean like that. Mean means average. Yes, in general mathematics and statistics, the mean is a type of average calculated by summing all values in a data set and dividing by the total count of values, while average can sometimes refer to other central measures like median or mode. Mean specifically refers to the arithmetic mean. All right, so it's pretty much mostly the arithmetic mean is the which goes into the math, but the median and the mode, average. Okay. All right. So mean means that, but obscurity, that's what it gave me instead. Let me look that word up real quick. What the hell is obscure people? Let's look up that whole thing. Define obscure people. An obscure person is someone who is unknown, little known, or not famous, often living in anonymity or acting as a background figure. The term implies they lack prominence, fame, or distinction, and it can also suggest a person who is secretive or hard to understand. So unknown, little known individual, unsung, inconspicuous background figure, nameless entity, hidden or remote person. Well, these are good qualities too. But the point of the matter is, you want to be diligent. Okay, you want, someone, if it applies to you, not really, you kind of hiding your talent underneath a napkin, then, hey, that's not good. The Lord ain't dealing with something. That's like a wicked servant, and you're gonna avoid doing that if you really got the truth. But I ain't gonna go into all of this. But gas prices are going up, and that's the thing about Pars Field, South Pars Gar, South Pars Gar gas field. Who does this supply? Let's see. The South Pars / North Dome gas field, the world's largest, primarily supplies domestic natural gas for Iran. So this was an infrastructure hit by Israeli forces, accounting for roughly 70 to 80% of its total gas production. So they're about to run out of gas. This is probably gas that fuels your home, things like that. So you can cook, and Esau it's good to know that Esau is doing all these things. And it tells you in the book of Galatians 6 and 9 that you pretty much reap what you sow. So he's reaping wickedness all over the earth. So these things are going to come right back to him. And if you live over here, it's going to affect you too. Galatians 6 and 9, and that's Galatians 6 and 7. Be not deceived, God is not mocked. For whatsoever a man soweth, that shall he also reap. And that's what he's sowing in the world. War, discord. This verse teaches that actions have inescapable consequences. Right. Emphasizing that life operates on a spiritual law of consequences where actions, sowing, dictate outcomes, reaping. It warns against believing one is exempt from accountability. Living for selfish desires, the flesh, produces corruption, while investing in spiritual growth produces eternal life, right? But look at all the seeds that he's sowing in the earth. Taking, what he's doing to Cuba, what he's doing to Venezuela, what he's doing to Iran, what he's doing to the people in his own country, to the other Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, to the nation of Israel. When you do this to other people, it's going to find its way. The Lord's going to do it to you. That's why, that's why I say when you see these things going on, hospitals killed, 400 people dead, that's going to happen here. Power outages, famines, pestilence, no gas, no fuel. So he's taking away, the citizens are feeling that. I'm sure whoever's down in those caves in Iran, they're good. I'm sure they got their own oil, gas. They can probably stay down there for probably 100 years and not have nothing to worry about. They got mountains protecting them. But the common folk, they're fucked. Just like when shit starts happening over here, it might not get bombed, but all these people that are over here, you got a D- infrastructure, so it's not that hard to turn this place into the way it is over there in Iran.
Indian state media reported that natural gas facilities associated with its offshore South Pars field, the largest gas field in the world, located off the coast of southern Iran's Bushehr province, were attacked. Promptly after, Iran's Revolutionary Guard threatened to attack oil and gas infrastructure in Qatar, Saudi Arabia, and the United Arab Emirates.
You see? Now more retaliation and hitting other parts of the country, and people are going to feel that too. So now other areas like Saudi Arabia, what else to say? United Arab Emirates heightening the risk of further disruptions to energy supplies in the region. So, people are going to have to recalculate, their relationship with the U.S. Because nobody wants their infrastructure targeted. He's doing all that shit thinking, all right, I'm way over here. Ain't nothing he can do to me. The only good news about this is it's Israel that did this, so they're going to get fucked. But who knows? They might be using American-made weapons. So all these things are being considered when these strikes are being had.
heightening the risk of further disruptions to energy supplies in the region. Later on Wednesday, Qatari authorities reported a fire at the country's Ras Laffan gas facility after an Iranian ballistic missile attack. Qatar's Interior Ministry later said the fire had been brought under control. The U.S.-Israeli war on Iran and Tehran's retaliatory attacks on Gulf neighbors have disrupted oil and natural gas exports from the Middle East and forced production stoppages. If the disruptions keep oil and gas prices elevated for an extended period, experts say the global economy could experience a wave of inflation.
Ooh, that's what I'm talking about. Good. I didn't even finish my precept. Mark 13, verse 36. Lest coming suddenly he finds you sleeping, and what I say unto you, I say unto all, watch. Okay, so there you go. Go back the skill into inflation. To inflation. Revelation 6:1. And I saw the Lamb open one of the seals, and I heard as it were the noise of thunder, one of the four beasts saying, come and see. And I saw and behold a white horse, and he that sat on him had a bow, and a crown was given unto him, and he went forth conquering and to conquer. And that's talking about Yahweh Shai. Okay, and he gonna conquer you stupid ass heathen that are out there that got all this military capability. You gonna get fucked up, and then you're gonna get your crown taken, your authority taken away from you, and it's all given to the Lord. Revelation 6:3. And when he had opened the second seal, I heard the second beast say, come and see. And there went out another horse that was red, and power was given to him that sat thereon to take peace from the earth, and that they should kill one another. And there was given unto him a great sword. And it's talking about the so-called white man Esau Edom. Okay, he's the horse that went out. Another horse that was red is talking about Esau. His blessing was the sword. Genesis 27 and 41. All right, that's Esau's blessing. Military capability. Genesis 27 verse 41. And Esau. No. Genesis 27 to 40. And by thy sword shalt thou live, and shalt serve thy brother, and it shall come to pass when thou shalt have the dominion that thou shalt break his yoke from off thy neck, because we had his ass in slavery. But it says, and by thy sword shalt thou live. So Esau lives by his sword. All right, which is his military capability, and that's how he's supposed to live. But according to us, in the book of Habakkuk, chapter 2, verse 5, I think. Nope. Habakkuk 2, verse 4. Behold, his soul which is lifted up is not upright in him. Talking about Esau, he's proud. He's lifted up, but it's not upright. He's not a righteous person. But the just, which are the elect of Israel, shall live by his faith. So we live by faith. He lives by the sword. Okay, but ultimately our sword is this wisdom, knowledge, and understanding of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai. Okay, so because this word is likened unto a sword. Hebrews 4 verse 12. For the word of God is quick and powerful and sharper than any two-edged sword, piercing even to the dividing asunder of soul and spirit, and of the joints and marrow, and is a discerner of the thoughts and intent of the heart. So this is where we get the cut in his ass. It's all through the spirit. He cut you physically, but he can't do nothing to you spiritually if you part of that number. So it is what it is. Matthew 10 verse 34. Think not that I am come to send peace on earth. I came not to send peace, but a sword. So the Lord is coming to send a sword, division, destruction. Okay, on behalf of Israel. So we don't really need to fight, but for this truth we do. Okay, and the Lord's given us the ability to do that. Let's see what else this is saying.
Fighting has.
I didn't even finish Revelation. That's why I wanted to go. Salaki, the Spirit be taking me. Revelation 6 verse 5. And when he had opened the third seal, I heard the third beast say, come and see. And I beheld, and lo, a black horse. And he that sat on him had a pair of balances in his hand. Now this word balances goes into the Greek word zygos, and it's talking about slavery. All right.
Strong's G 2218, Zugas.
Zugas, whatever. It says a yoke that is put on drought counter, used of any burden or bondage, as that of slavery. So inflation is a form of a tax. Okay, and tax is going to cause you to work harder. Okay, so that's a lot, man. That's slavery, because now you got to work even harder. Gas prices going up. That's another tax. So now you got to work even harder. Your food's gonna cost more. That's a tax. That's more of a burden. All right. The drought cattle you guys. You guys are the ones in slavery. All the work that you do goes to him. You pay your taxes on. That's another tax. You get taxed to pay your taxes. He'll charge you to pay your own taxes. Of troublesome laws imposed on one, especially of the Mosaic law. Hence the name is so transferred to the commands of Hamashiach as to contrast them with the commands of the Pharisees. Right, the commands of the Pharisees, which were a veritable yoke, yet even Hamashiach's commands must be submitted to, though easier to be kept. So, just like the Pharisees, it doesn't specify which Pharisees it's talking about, but assuming it's talking about the wicked Pharisees, because the righteous Pharisees believed in Yahushua. Okay, and they knew they had to keep the law, but they knew they had to believe in the Son. But the wicked Pharisees didn't believe in Yahushua. They believed in still maintaining the Levitical law. Okay, so which takes away faith from the Son. So that's like a burden, a balanced pair of scales, but it's really talking about inflation. Okay, that's the form. That's the balance. Okay, if something's off balance, then it's injustice. If it's balanced, then it's justice. It's justified. If it's unbalanced, it's injustice. And that's what's happening. He's gonna make it very difficult for you doing the shit that he's doing. But he's got to create that chaos. He needs chaos in the world in order to fulfill prophecy. So we understand why these things are going on the way they're going on. And it says a famine. So that's all prophecy. So the inflation is leading up to a famine. He told you that in the book of Ezekiel. I don't want to grab everything, but actually I got Revelation open twice. Yeah, so Ezekiel, the 5th chapter, he's going to increase. Ezekiel 5 verse 16, when I shall send upon them the evil arrows of famine, which shall be for their destruction, and which I will send to destroy you, and I will increase the famine upon you, and will break your staff of bread. So he's increasing it. So it's slowly coming up to the point where it's broken. So he's just slowly increasing the famine. And he's constantly been doing this. These prices didn't get to where they're at today overnight. The Lord's constantly, we've always been in prophecy. He's always been incrementally making the famine come. The famine was it's pretty much already here, but it ain't fully manifested yet. You're hearing complaints more. Oh, I can't afford this and I can't do that. Those complaints are going to lead all the way to the point where you ain't got no food. That's him breaking your staff of bread. Staff goes into your stability. That's what a staff is used for, your stability of bread. It's going to be broken. All right. So Ezekiel 5 verse 17, so will I send upon you famine and evil beasts, and they shall bereave thee. So that means to kill your kids, take your kids away. Let's look this up as a matter of fact. Bereave is a verb meaning to deprive someone of a loved one through death, often leaving them in a state of intense grief or desolation. That's right. It is commonly used to describe the profound emotional, mental, and sometimes physical impact of loss. Bereaved individuals may experience varied, fluctuating stages of grief. So that's what the Lord ain't nothing to play with, man. Through the terror of the Lord, we persuade men. 2 Corinthians 5 and 11. I got to get back to Revelation 6. 2 Corinthians 5 and 11. Knowing therefore the terror of the Lord, we persuade men. But we are made manifest unto God, and I trust also are made manifest in your consciences. Consciences. Okay, 2 Corinthians 5 and 11 means that a reverent awe of God's judgment and holiness motivates believers to share the gospel with urgency and sincerity. It emphasizes that living with integrity and awareness of standing before Hamashiach. This does not mean dread of punishment, but a deep reverence, awe, and respect for God's authority. Well, the terror of the Lord is his judgments. It tells you in the book of Psalms, the 9th chapter, that the Lord is known by the judgments that he executed Higgaion Salah. So that's how he's known. And by pointing those things out, you can learn how to avoid putting yourself in harm's way with the Lord. So through that terror, we persuade men to also be obedient to the law, statutes, and commandments to the best of their ability, and trust in the Lord and have faith. Revelation 6 and 6, and I heard a voice in the midst of the four beasts say, a measure of wheat for a penny, and 3 measures of barley for a penny, and see thou heard not the oil and the wine. So, so the 4 beasts is going to these 4 beasts. Let's look this up. These 4 beasts, I forgot what chapter they were in. But it's these beasts before the throne that had 4 faces, and let's see what it says. Resembling a lion, a calf, a man, an eagle. Each summoned one of the 4 horsemen of the apocalypse as the Lamb opens the first 4 seals. You got to read Revelation, the 5th chapter. Only Yahweh Shah was able to open the seals or the understandings of what this was written. These horsemen bring judgment through conquest, war, famine, and death. Roll of the 4 living creatures. First creature, lion, summons the rider on the white horse. Second creature, the calf ox, summons the rider on the red horse. Third creature, man, summons the rider on the black horse. Fourth creature, the eagle, summons the rider on the pale horse. So, yeah, I forgot which chapter. It's not telling me that they explain that. Described in chapter 4. Okay, so you gotta go to chapter 4 to see what this is talking about if you don't know about the different 4 beasts. Revelation 6 verse 7, and when he had opened the 4th seal, I heard the voice of the 4th beast say, come and see. And I looked, and behold, a pale horse, and his name that sat on him was Death, and hell followed with him, and power was given unto them over the 4th part of the earth to kill with the sword, to kill with sword, and with hunger, and with death, and with the beasts of the earth. So there you go. Another judgment, more judgments, death, destruction. Okay. And Esau also is known as death, and he's also known as hell in the book of Habakkuk, the 2nd chapter. Okay. Tells you that he is as death. So Esau is playing a part in all of those horses. He's the one it's really the Lord using him to create the inflation. It's really him, the Lord using him as a sword to come against, to kill one another. All right, to cause death in hell. Hell meaning like affliction. Habakkuk 2, because that's what hell is. We're in hell right now. When you're in hell, when your kingdom's taken away from you, your enemies are ruling over you. That's what hell is. All these curses that it's a state of mind. Esau is in heaven. He's his laws are being implemented. He's the one pushing his unrighteous decrees, and everyone is subjected to them. So he's in his heaven. He's in his kingdom. We're in hell. We can't implement the laws, statutes, and commandments of Yahweh Bahashim Yahushai. Those are our laws, but we still got to maintain them. But it starts with us maintaining the law first. Habakkuk 2 verse 5, yea, also because he transgresseth by wine, which are his philosophies, his religions, his democracy. He is a proud man, neither keepeth at home. That's Esau. He's in everybody else's country, worried about what they're doing. Who enlargeth his desire is hell. So he enlargeth hell. Okay, he puts hell on the earth. Hell is making all these wicked decrees. Okay, more taxes, more hell on you. That's hell on people, man. Paying more bills, putting more shit in your food to put shit in your body so you can be in hell, so you can be in torment and pain. All right, you putting his unrighteous decree, letting people get away with murders and shit like that. That's hell, and is as death. Okay, he's trying to put you to death. He's trying to always go to war. Always killing, always coveting people's fields, taking it by violence. Okay, his ways lead to death. His religions lead you to death. Okay, so this is all of the above and cannot be satisfied, but gathereth unto him all nations. Yeah, so just like death, he cannot be satisfied. So he'll never be satisfied. He needs to die. That's what he really wants, because he is as death. But can't nobody do anything to him except for the Lord. But gathereth unto him all nations and heapeth unto him all people. And that's why everyone's over here in slavery. All right. I want to stop there. Am I done with this? No.
Halted most shipments via the Strait of Hormuz, through which 20% of global oil and liquefied natural gas supplies pass.
20% of natural gas, too. So this is all their regional, people who live in that area. They rely on that, on that. And Israel just blew that shit up.
Total oil output cuts in the Middle East are estimated at 7 million to 10 million barrels per day, or 7% to 10% of global demand. In response, the Trump administration announced earlier on Wednesday a 60-day waiver of the Jones Act shipping law, temporarily allowing foreign-flagged vessels to move fuel, fertilizer, and other goods between U.S. ports. The United States also issued a general license, authorizing certain deals involving Venezuela's state oil company, PDVSA, the U.S. Treasury Department said on Wednesday. In Iraq, North Oil Company sources said exports had resumed via pipeline after Baghdad and the Kurdistan Regional Government agreed on Tuesday to restart flows.
What? In Iraq, North Oil Company sources said exports had resumed via pipeline after Baghdad and Kurdistan Regional Government agreed on Tuesday to restart flows. Okay, that's different.
Officials said last week Iraq was seeking to pump at least 100,000 barrels of oil per day through the port, by AP and Reuters.
Oh, that sounds good. So maybe he will be able to stabilize if he's getting them to do it. What did J.D. Vance say about stabilizing the gas prices? As of early 2026, J.D. has focused his discussion on stabilization primarily on critical mineral supply chains. No, stabilizing. He just said something today. I forgot. He said something. Vance says rising gas prices a temporary blip. Let me see. I don't want to read the whole article. Vance characterized recent price increases as temporary and linked to geopolitical conflict, contrasting them with higher costs from previous administrations. Okay, he's still talking about previous administrations. Domestic energy production. He advocated for boosting U.S. energy production to reduce a reliance on foreign sources, aiming to decrease prices over time. market stability in oil prices. While acknowledging the immediate pain of high prices, he argued that once active conflict in the Middle East concludes, energy prices will come back down. Yeah, once it concludes, as you're bombing their refineries today. Focus on manufacturing. He indicated that rising fuel costs, which affect transportation, are a key concern and asserted that administration efforts are focused on bringing them down to ease overall inflation. But no matter what these niggas do, it's still going to happen. But what is this nigga talking about?
Qatar says Iran attack caused significant damage at Ras Laffan gas facility. Qatar has said Iranian missile attacks on the Ras Laffan industrial city, the country's main gas facility, have caused significant damage.
So here it is, you're bombing their infrastructure so their people can't get gas into their homes. So he goes and bombs Qatar, which is across the Strait of Hormuz, and does significant damage to some Ras Laffan industrial city. So I don't know what they supply, but that's causing instability in that region.
The state of Qatar expresses its strong condemnation and denunciation of the blatant Iranian attack targeting Ras Laffan industrial city, which caused fires resulting in significant damage to the facility. Qatar's Ministry of Foreign Affairs said in a statement on Wednesday. Qatar's Ministry of Interior.
This nigga don't even live over there. He's fucking their shit up over there.
Said a fire at the site had been preliminarily brought under control and that no injuries were reported.
Yeah, the injury is gonna come later when you don't have when inflation comes and you can't feed your people.
All personnel have been accounted for and no casualties have been reported at this time. Qatar Energy, the world's largest liquefied natural gas (LNG) producer, said on Wednesday. The announcements came hours after Iran threatened to attack oil and gas facilities across the Gulf region in retaliation for an Israeli attack on its South Pars gas field.
See, it's because Esau he's spread out in all those areas. And plus, I think they bombed Tel Aviv today and killed 3 from last thing I heard. Iran bombs Tel Aviv today. Iran, not Eon. Couple killed in cluster bomb attack near Tel Aviv 2 hours ago. This was the scene on Wednesday, hours after a missile from Iran killed an older couple near Tel Aviv. Just an older couple. I heard it was like 2 or 3 people killed. As a matter of fact, Israeli military says Iran used new missile today. Israel Army says its forces detected new missile launches. Okay, the Israeli military said Sunday that its forces detected new missile launches from Iran. I thought it was new missile capabilities, just new missile launches.
As the fallout from the United States-Israeli war on the country continues to escalate. Iran's warning of attacks was directed at Qatar's Mesaieed petrochemical complex, Mesaieed Holding Company and Ras Laffan refinery, Saudi Arabia's Samref refinery and Jubail petrochemical complex, and the United Arab Emirates Al Hosn gas field. Qatar's Ministry of Foreign Affairs declared the Iranian embassy's military.
Iran's warning of attacks was directed at Qatar's Mesaieed petrochemical complex, Mesaieed Holding Company, and Ras Laffan refinery. So that's 3 different places. Saudi Arabia's Samref refinery and Jubail petrochemical complex in the United Arab Emirates and Hosn gas field. So they done fucked some shit up over there today.
Military and security attaches as persona non grata, along with their staff. The
Hold on, what does that mean? Persona non grata. Latin for unwelcome person is a formal diplomatic declaration used by a host nation to banish a foreign diplomat or person, rendering them unwelcome due to misconduct like espionage or criminal acts. Okay. Qatar's foreign ministry declared the Iranian embassy's military and security attaches as persona non grata, along with their staff.
The ministry said it demanded that they leave Qatar within 24 hours, adding that the decision came as a result of Iran's repeated attacks. In a statement, the ministry strongly condemned the brutal Iranian targeting of Ras Laffan industrial city. Qatar considers this assault a dangerous escalation, a flagrant violation of its sovereignty, and a direct threat to its national security. Quote, it said, the Iranian side continues its escalatory policies that are pushing the region toward the brink and drawing countries not party to this crisis into the conflict zone.
Are they out of their fucking mind? I don't see the way they do politics out there is just doesn't even make any sense. They're getting bombed. You're protecting their enemy, so he's bombing you, and you don't understand why it's happening, and you're blaming them for escalatory policies. Like what? That's why he's fucking y'all up, because you fucking stupid as hell.
On March 2nd, Qatar suspended LNG production following an attack on the Ras Laffan facility, as well as on a water tank at a power plant in Mazayed Industrial City. The Ras Laffan complex, located 80 kilometers, 50 miles, northeast of Doha, is the world's largest LNG production facility and produces about 20% of the global LNG supply, playing a major role in balancing both Asian and European markets' demand for the fuel.
Yeah, so you're fucked. So other people are going to be affected outside of the Middle East, which is going to turn into a global issue. There ain't nowhere going to escape it. Jacob's trouble is going to happen everywhere in the world. There's nowhere you're going to get around it. And all these governments are going to agree on one thing, is to take the MOTV. As a matter of fact, China creates a brain interface like... let me see what pops up. China has approved the world's first commercial, minimally invasive brain-computer interface for patients with spinal cord injuries, developed by Neuracle Medical Technology in Shanghai. The device, approved in March 2026, allows paralyzed individuals to move their hands and control external devices like robotic gloves with their thoughts, marking a shift from research trials to clinical commercial use. So Moab too. He doing the same shit. These fucking devils, all of them, they all gonna agree on the MOTB. Revelation chapter 13, verse number 15. And he had power to give life unto the image of the beast, which is Rome, that the image of the beast should both speak and cause that as many as would not worship the image of the beast should be killed. So if you don't worship this image, you're going to be killed. So it don't matter what you believe. If you believe in Jesus Christ, well, if you don't worship the beast, you're going to be killed. The beast is really going into this system. And how you're going to show you worship it is by taking this chip. Revelation 13, verse 16, and he causeth all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark in their right hand or in their foreheads. So this is the part that Moab's starting to get into. But you're going to hear a Russian one, and that all started with Esau, Neuralink. Okay, so these different nations, just like when it came to the jab shot, they were all in agreement with that bullshit. So here it is, they can agree to give you fast-paced medical treatments, because of a boogeyman flu. But when it comes to global war and infrastructure, don't think that these heathen ain't working together, because they are. Psalms, the 83rd chapter, tells you that all these nations are against the nation of Israel, because they can't rule with us being in line with our power. So they want to keep us in this perpetual state so they can rule, but it ain't gonna happen. They're done. They're out of here. Judith 5, verse 20. Actually, Judith 5 and guess I'll start at 20. Now, therefore, my Lord and Governor, if there be any error in this people, talking about the Israelites, and they sin against their God, let us consider that this shall be their ruin, and let us go up, and we shall overcome them. But if there be no iniquity in their nation, let my Lord now pass by, lest their Lord defend them, and their God before them, and we become a reproach before all the world. And that's what's going to happen to them. So these heathen are going to get fucked up, and then we're going to put our feet and hands, we're going to destroy them. So they better have all their fun now with their shooting missiles and making Neuralink chips for everyone's brain and putting it in their foreheads and hands. And the heathen, they're going to run to that. Because it tells you in 2 Thessalonians, the 2nd chapter, that they were like amazed by these miracles. But we understand, they look at this technology is good. You just ain't with the times, man. Because heathen are stupid. That's why you ain't supposed to be really chilling with them like that. Because they're going to cause you to go astray. 2 Thessalonians chapter 2. And I start at 3. Let no man deceive you by any means, for that day shall not come except there come a falling away first, and that man of sin be revealed, the son of perdition. That's talking about Esau, who opposeth and exalteth himself above all that is called God or that is worshipped, so that he as God sitteth in the temple of God, showing himself that he is God. Let's look at this word showing. Now Moab's following him, so that he's coming out with the same type of technology. When it came to the jab shot, he was coming out with the same mRNA. You all agreed mRNA was like the worst way to create a jab. And every nation agreed, yeah, this is the way to go. Because they all fucking dumb. Because they're following Esau. Okay. It says showing. Let me see, where do I want to go? Is it showing? Yeah, to declare, to show, to prove what kind of person anyone is, to prove by arguments, demonstrate. So he's demonstrating this through his miracles.
Strong's G 584. Apadynate.
So this is how he's showing that he is the Most High, is through his technology. And that's what's deceiving the people. They look at his tech and they think, oh yeah, showing himself that he is God. He's showing through demonstrations that he is God. Look at this technology that I can do. Look how I can make this person walk again with my technology. You take my technology. Now look, he could walk. He could control a glove with his mind. He can play chess on a damn computer screen. So that's why they think he's God now. You know, a lot of people. That's why they believe in Jesus Christ, the so-called white man is God. 2 Thessalonians 2 verse 5, but he's not. Remember ye not that when I was yet with you, I told you these things? And now ye know that what withholdeth that he might be revealed in his time. And he's being revealed now. He's being the damn devil that the Bible speaks of. The Edomite nation that's still in power today, but they about to be destroyed. And they're going to be destroyed. And we're going to whip their ass properly. Well, I'll speak about me. I don't know what everyone's going to do. But me, I'm thinking about whipping his ass every single day. Stomping him out. Doing him dirty. 2 Thessalonians 2 verse 7. For the mystery of iniquity doth already work. So he was already working in the as the Romans. He was working then. He was already doing wickedness. So he's the mystery of iniquity. They didn't know it was Esau. But now we know. Only he who now letteth will let, which is our Lord, until he be taken out of the way. And he about to be taken out of the way. And then shall that wicked be revealed, whom the Lord shall consume with the spirit of his mouth. And that's what the prophets, they're consuming him with the spirit. The mouth of the Lord is his prophets. and shall destroy with the brightness of his coming, talking about our Lord. Even him whose coming is after the working of Satan. So that's Esau. His coming is after the working of Satan. He's doing the work of Satan down here on the earth with all power and signs and lying wonders. So that's his technology, his power and signs and lying wonders. This is what he's going to deceive people with, his technology. And with all deceivableness of unrighteousness in them that perish, because they received not the love of the truth, that they might be saved. So they're going to be deceived. Okay, because they can't believe the truth. So they're going to believe that's the way to go. And that's why a lot of y'all are going to be destroyed. Okay, you're going to fall for this chip. You're going to think, there ain't nothing wrong with that. This is a little small, right-sized device. He's telling, oh, I just want to put it in your right hand on your forehead. Who knows? He might actually put a barcode on a visible barcode on your forehead. That's what they show all the time. But I don't think he's gonna do that. But he might, because the barcode's gonna be in the chip. But instead of guessing if you got the chip or not via screening, he might want a visible, implantable. Maybe some type of outwardly that he could see to know that you got the chip. So we're gonna be entering in that time, and you want to be ready. I want to be ready on all levels to tell that devil go fuck yourself, even if I have to give up the ghost. But understanding that I'll be back, so I can kill that nigga. All the men of the Lord, we gonna put him through. Oh man, Esau. Oh, and it's all good, So you gotta. Hey, that's that's the Lord's will, man. But I tell you one thing, man. I always pray that the Lord allow me to, if something happened to me, I want my get back. And believe me, I'm gonna get you back, Esau. 100 times worse than whatever you do to me. I'm gonna get you even worse than that. 2 Thessalonians 2:11, and for this cause God shall send them strong delusion, that they should believe a lie. And that's what they're doing. That they might all be damned who believe not the truth, but had pleasure in unrighteousness. So you're going to be damned. All right? For taking this stupid ass chip. And the Chinaman too. All right? He's just as stupid as Esau. Those dumbass mother. He's an idiot. Chinese man, fucking stupid. All right, that's it for that. Am I done with? Yeah. So the Moabite man is making his own chip. Let me just go back to Revelation 13 and 17, and that no man might buy or sell save he that had the mark or the name of the beast or the number of his name. And we're going to see that all these nations are against each other, especially with that border peace. As a matter of fact, who's on the border peace now? What countries are on the border peace? Key participating nations include Israel, Saudi Arabia, Egypt, Qatar, Jordan, Turkey, UAE, Bahrain, Morocco, and Kuwait. Okay. Did China join the border peace? As of January 2026, China has formally rejected the invitation from the U.S. to join the U.S.-led border peace, a proposed international body aimed at resolving conflict starting with Gaza. Beijing reaffirmed its commitment to a UN-centered international order rather than alternative frameworks. Sure. Yeah, you won't join this border peace, but you're willing to put Revelation 13 into your population's forehead. They're going to make it mandatory too, around the same time that Esau makes it mandatory. Esau starts going into digital currencies. These other nations want to get into digital currencies. So these people are full of shit. This nigga Xi Jinping be wearing a suit and tie like a damn devil. This stupid ass nigga, man. Wear your own Chinese garments, but see, these people are full of shit, man. These heathen piss me off. What's this? U.S. Fed keeps interest rates steady amid economic uncertainty, Iran war. Let's see what this nigga's talking about.
U.S. Fed keeps interest rates steady amid economic, geopolitical uncertainty. By Andy Hirschfeld and Reuters. The United States Federal Reserve will hold interest rates steady as the labor market cools and prices on goods and services surge following the U.S. and Israel's joint strikes on Iran. The central bank will maintain its benchmark rate at 3.5 to 3.75%, consistent with the Fed's decision last month, when it also held rates steady. The committee seeks to achieve maximum employment and inflation at the rate of 2% over the longer run. Uncertainty about the economic outlook remains elevated. The implications of developments and
uncertainty. Where am I? Uncertainty. I can't find where she said that.
The Middle East for the U.S. economy are uncertain, the central bank said in a statement announcing its policy decision and referring to its Federal Open Market Committee. The committee is attentive to the risks to both sides of its dual mandate.
Here it is. The committee seeks to achieve maximum employment and inflation at the rate of 2% over the longer run. Uncertainty about the economic outlook remains elevated. Ecclesiastes, the 12th chapter. Looking out the windows. So, Ecclesiastes, chapter 12. Verse 1, remember now thy Creator in the days of thy youth, while the evil days comes not, nor the years draw nigh when thou shalt say, I have no pleasure in them. So you want to remember the Lord when you're younger, more so than when you're older. It's better to come into this truth when you're young, because as you get older, you tend to forget things, number one. This truth, even for the little time I've been in it, I still be forgetting things. You have to go over it multiple times. You can't read the Bible once or twice and think you're good. We all thought like that at one point, and it's not like that. You got to really be involved in the scriptures, man, to really retain, because then you start to see patterns in the scriptures. You start to different precepts, Proverbs and Psalms, they all just merge together when you constantly go over it and over it and over it. The more you do it, the more it's just in you. The words just always, precepts always popping in your mind, and that's what you want to develop, because the scriptures do say that wisdom shall meet them in every thought. Wisdom of Solomon 6 verse 16, for she goeth about seeking such as are worthy of her. So this is talking about wisdom. She's like unto a woman. Showeth herself favorably unto them in the ways. So in your path, it's going to show himself favorably unto you, and meeteth them in every thought. So that's how wisdom is meeting in every thought. So when we get in those times of trouble, the same thing's going to apply. Wisdom's going to be meeting you in every thought. Everything that you do is just going to be popping up in your head. So that's why it tells you in Isaiah 33 and 6. But people don't see the treasure and retain. It's like, it tells you, here's a couple precepts popping up now. Psalms 23 and verse 5. It says, thou preparest a table before me in the presence of my enemies. Thou anointest my head with oil, my cup runneth over. So this oil is the understanding of the scriptures. Your cup running over that's the house of David. Okay, this is a Psalm of David. Let's read the whole thing. Psalms 25:1, a Psalm of David. The Lord is my shepherd, I shall not want. He maketh me to lie down in green pastures. So the green pastures is the understanding of the scriptures. He leadeth me beside the still waters, which is this word. He restoreth my soul. He leadeth me in the paths of righteousness for his name's sake. Okay, and this is David writing this, but it applies to the house of David. Yea, though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, which is here in America, I will fear no evil. For thou art with me, thy rod and thy staff, they comfort me. So the rod goes into correction. Okay, the Lord's always putting us through the correction, and the staff is for stability. So the word it corrects you. You know, you understand the law. You know what you're not supposed to do. So you know it comes with judgment that corrects you, and it's for your stability. Okay, it's the one that is what keeps you out of the way. You know, it's what's gonna maintain you in the last days. And they comfort me. Okay, we're comforted by the scriptures. This world don't comfort you. So seeing it, when shit happens throughout the day, you shouldn't be surprised that these things are happening. This world is not here. You're not here to be comforted. You're in hell. And a lot of people, they don't want to cope with the mindset that the nation of Israel, you so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans are going through. Pretty much a phenomenon that this is the lowest you'll ever be in all history, and you just got to suffer through it now. But this is like a bad dream, and then we're gonna pay back all these nations for all the harm they have done to the righteous, and we're gonna do it for 1,000 years, beating them up, slaughtering them, whipping their ass, making sure they understand our laws, and they better get it right. They're gonna learn through that judgment, just like how we learn to be niggas, spics, and savages through slavery and being ruled over by these people. We learn how to be like them. They're gonna learn how to be righteous when we whip their ass when we get into power. Thou preparest a table before me in the presence of my enemies. So the table, I'm preparing the table right now. We're eating the wisdom and knowledge of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushua. So the Lord is doing that on a global scale. He got his word going out. He's preparing a table in the presence of our enemies. So we're in captivity no matter what government we're in, because they're not establishing the law, statutes, and commandments. And we're eating this word. Thou anointest my head with oil. That's the spirit. Ultimately, the oil is an anointing oil so you can understand the scriptures. My cup runneth over. So you're not going to run over. You're not going to run out of this word. You're going to have plenty of oil. But that's the house of David. So everyone's going to have plenty of oil in these last days. They're going to run out, just like Saul ran out. All right, or the 5 foolish virgins in Matthew 25. Surely goodness and mercy shall follow me all the days of my life, and I will dwell in the house of the Lord forever. That's right. So I forgot where I was going with that, but I forgot the other precepts. There's a couple precepts, but the Lord let me go over there. Anyways, Ecclesiastes 12, verse 2. Why the sun or the light or the moon or the stars be not darkened, nor the clouds return after the rain. So the sun, the light, or the moon or the stars be not darkened, nor the clouds return after the rain. Now we know the sun, the moon, and the stars represent wisdom, knowledge, and understanding. The light is is pretty much same thing. The understanding or the light's pretty much the understanding of the scriptures too. Nor the clouds return after the rain. But it's also symbolic of, in context, it's talking about as you get older, you know, you're not seeing. You won't be able to see, you know, your eyes get worse. You know, you start to get older. Nor the clouds return after the rain. So you want to get this knowledge as much as you can while it's still here. Ecclesiastes 12, verse 3, in the day when the keepers of the house shall tremble. So this is what the Fed chair is pretty much going into. This different. He's saying that the maximum employment inflation rate of 2% over a longer run, but uncertainty about the economic outlook remains elevated. So the keepers of the house are your banking families, but it also goes into those who understand. So the house is America, right? So you might be looking, he understands GDP, he understands employment rates, inflation rates, interest rates. He's trying to keep it at a level that will maintain a 2%, how do you put it? A 2% over the long term of inflation. So he wants to maintain the inflation rate at 2% per annual. And he'll do whatever he can do to just keep it at the 2%. That's like the sweet spot, so to speak. But he's still saying it's uncertainty about the economic outlook remains elevated because we don't know what this nigga's gonna do in the future. So that's pretty much what he's saying. All right, and the strong men shall bow themselves. Okay, the strong men go into his military. Okay, his police force. Those are the strong men. Them bowing themselves is them pretty much being in a tight position. They're not gonna know what to do in these last days. And the grinders cease because they are few. So the grinders ceasing because they are few. The grinders is representing jobs. Okay, and those that look out of the windows should be windows be darkened. That's why he's saying we're at an elevated, about the economic outlook remains elevated. So you're looking at a future that's uncertain. So that's the windows being darkened.
Holding rates steady was in line with estimates. CME FedWatch, a tool that tracks monetary policy decisions, forecast that there was a 99% chance that rates would hold steady. The stall comes after 3 rate cuts in 2025.
Yeah, I'm not going to read all of this. But if he's keeping it at 2, then it's you good for now. That's actually good news for Babylon for the short term. But he said percent over the longer run to keep that inflation rate. The inflation rate is not going to remain at 2. It's going to go higher. The duck was already trying to fire this man. The fact that once Jerome Powell leaves, this place is done. All right, because he's older. He don't really give a fuck about what Duck is trying to do with all these. I don't even think he gives a fuck about Israel or nothing else. He's just trying to. That's the impression I get from Jerome Powell. Even when he answers questions, they ask him, he just be like, listen, they'll ask him like a difficult question. If you don't really know what they're asking, he'll just. The way he answers it shows you that, man, you people sound stupid as hell, man. You ain't gonna get me to switch on anything, man. He's stuck in his ways, and you're gonna get what you get from Jerome Powell, and he just kind of always been like that. But the president, he said he took an oath to be like that. That no matter what, he was gonna, try to maintain some type of integrity here, because he sees what's going on. He might not agree with everything, and he's probably like, I'm already old, man. I don't give a fuck about what this nigga says, man. What the hell you gonna do? I'm in control of the Fed chair, man, which is a private entity, man. Who the hell are you? But once he's gone and the duck puts somebody evil in there or more wicked than this dude, then see you later to your 2%. Then you're gonna see, then that day's pay that in Revelation, the 6th chapter, I didn't look it up, but penny goes into denarian, which is a day's wage. That's when your bread's gonna cost that much. On Iran, Gabbard turned intelligence duties over to Duck. I don't really want to go on to her right now, but she basically said that maybe she'll just, let me see if I can grab her quote. I cannot in good conscience support the ongoing, no, that's Kent. What did she say? She basically said today that all authority's given over to the Duck, so she don't know shit. What did she say today? Committee hearing. They asked her about her answer. Okay, right here. This revelation came from Tulsi Gabbard, the Director of National Intelligence. So she's the Director of National Intelligence. She had the unenviable task at a Senate Intelligence Committee hearing on Wednesday of squaring Mr. Duck's comments about an urgent nuclear threat from Iran with a letter from one of her trusted aides that the country posed no imminent threat. So that's the big thing that's going on right now. They're pretty much saying if the country posed no imminent threat with Iran, why did he go in there and attack them like this? Her answer: only the president can decide what is an imminent threat. In other words, she was turning one of the key roles of the intelligence community's 80,000 employees to make non-political judgments about threats to American security over to Mr. Duck. So, what are you even there for? You know, Mr. Garber's comments were necessitated by the decision of Joe Kent, her close advisor, Joe Kent, who was the counterterrorism position, to quit his counterterrorism position over his opposition to the war in Iran and his belief that Israel had pressured the U.S. into the conflict. So that's pretty much what she's saying. That what did she say? Her answer: only the president can decide what is an imminent threat. Then, and he said he's going off his own mind. So he's pretty much doing everything based on his own mind. According to him, we know it's not his own mind. We know it's going into Amalek. You know, more so, the banking families. He's doing the bidding of those 13 families. All right, so he's fully bought and paid for, and there's nothing you could do about it. They're doing a great job. As a matter of fact, did Rothschild, I heard somebody say that. I never looked it up. I'm going to look it up. Did the Rothschilds tell Donald Trump that he's doing a great job? Based on available reports, there is no evidence that the Rothschilds family as a collective told Donald Trump he's doing a great job. I forgot who said that. I couldn't find where they said that at. It's AI moded. While there is no record, a prominent member of the family, okay, I should have just kept reading. While there is no record of the Rothschilds as a collective group praising Donald Duck, a prominent member of the family, Lynn Forrester D. Rothschild, has expressed significant support for his policies regarding the working class since he returned to office in 2025. Lynn Forrester D. Rothschild, I gotta look what he looked like. Okay. The CEO of E.L. Rothschild and a former major donor to the Democratic Party, she has stated that she agrees with President Duck's actions and believes he is following through on his promises to help Main Street working class policy. She specifically noted that Duck understands the need to protect the American dream and suggested that his vision of private enterprise leading the economy is the right direction. Shift in stance. Her current support marks a major reversal. In 2016, she famously criticized Duck, saying he had gamed the system his whole life. Institutional and critical perspective. Rothschild and Co., the financial firm's analysts, have provided a mixed assessment. While they have labeled Duck a disruptor-in-chief and expressed concerns about his reckless rhetoric, they also noted that his first term was far from a calamity for investors. Economic analysis, the firm's 2026 outlook, acknowledged that while his policies on tariffs and immigration could be inflationary, his corporate tax cuts are generally good for the global economy and business. Yeah, so he's doing good for them. Edmund D. Rothschild investment experts from this separate branch of the family's banking interests have been more critical, warning that a Duck presidency could lead to a spike in U.S. bond yields and increased market pressure. Additionally, Wilbur Ross, who served as the Duck's first Commerce Secretary, was a former investment banker at Rothschild & Co. for 24 years, though his professional relationship with predates his government service. So, who from the Rothschilds said he's doing a great job? I'm trying to find a quote. Just Lynn Foster. It probably was her, but it's not giving me any quote that she said. Anyways, I'm going to end it here. Lord's will, this was edifying. Shalom.